But first, let's talk about, is metal more relevant than ever? What do you guys think? I feel like people always say metal is never popular, but it was the forerunner in the 80s and 90s and didn't really die off till the early 2010s. Yeah, you know what? I actually kind of agree with you, man. I do feel like the 2010s is when metal wasn't as relevant. I feel like EDM kind of took over in terms of like the more niche style music. Like pop has always been huge, right? And same with hip hop since the 90s. Metal right now is as relevant than ever. This is my own personal opinion. So at the end of this, we're going to go through some Google Trends to see how accurate I actually am. But to me, I feel like there's been some cool things happening in the metal scene. So let's go over some exciting metal news. First up, did you guys see this? Drake, Champagne Papi, literally made an Instagram story on Cheney Crab, the vocalist of Entheos. Champagne Papi! Champagne Papi! For those that don't know, the dude that only has 139 million followers on Instagram, if you haven't seen this clip yet, he basically shared Cheney Crab's Instagram reel of her doing like a vocal take of one of her songs. Entheos is tech death. Like, I'm trying to figure out how that got into like Drake's algorithm or something, because that's the first I ever heard of Drake actually enjoying some metal. And it's not like Courtney LaPlante, which is, it would have been cool if he shared that too, but it's fucking technical death metal, like even a more niche style genre music. And him saying like his twin flame, I don't know, it's just really cool news. But the fact that he likes metal makes me respect him a little bit more, just saying. But not only that, we got a couple other celebrities that are into the metal scene and they're mentioning it this year. So Demi Lovato, well, it's been known that she's been a metalhead, but this year, just same thing as Drake, made an Instagram story and sharing some metal songs. So it was Architects, I Prevail, which is cool. Those are pretty big bands in metal. But she also made an Instagram story for Throne. No way, Carrie Underwood listens to I Prevail? I believe that.
I honestly listen to like metal or super hard rock music.
Song in particular?
I like the band I Prevail.
There's a couple other artists like Kate Beckinsale. There's a video of her throwing down to some Kublai Khan and stuff. Post Malone is probably one of the biggest known celebrities that likes metal because he even auditioned for Crown the Empire, right? So that's cool, but it's just cool to see these big names in the pop realm share artists that are relatively underground, right? And you know, we can talk about Harper too. Harper going on America's Got Talent. I think that was last year, right? But still, that was huge. Rachel reacts. Post Malone was just at a Drain show last month. See, exactly. You know, they won't do metal songs because it's not like commercially successful. It's not commercially viable for them. It kind of sucks, but hopefully there becomes like a day where metal is monetarily successful for these artists to dabble into, right? So obviously there's celebrities that are taking notice to the metal scene, so that's a really cool thing. But another thing that makes metal seems like it's more relevant than ever is my obsession and lots of people's obsessions, but it's Sleep Token. Now there's a lot of things that we can go over with Sleep Token, right? Like the fact that they jumped from like 200,000 monthly listeners to like now 2.6 million, right? Or like 1.3 million in a month. Like, it's insane. This band has blown up this year, and it's really cool for a lot of us in the chat who've been following this band for years now to see this success happen what feels like overnight, really. But the thing that I want to talk about with Sleep Token, look, Sleep Token is so unpopular that they sold out Wembley Arena in 10 minutes. Cool. So Sleep Token is slowly becoming one of those bands that folks on the internet claim to hate, yet only seem to be growing in popularity. Exactly, right? Sleep Token announced that their biggest show to date for December 16th at the 12,500 capacity OVO Arena in Wembley earlier this week, with tickets going on sale this past Thursday. All the tickets, 10,000 according to Sleep Token, sold out in literally 10 minutes. That's insane. Like, that is one of the biggest, if not the biggest arena. I have to double check that in like the UK, and the fact that it's sold out in 10 minutes. It's so cool to see a band like Sleep Token, who a lot of like metal elitists argue, oh, it's not even metal. You know, if you watch my Sleep Token album review, I say that Sleep Token's metal. You know, they work with a metal producer. The metal elements to their music is way too fucking prominent. They also tour with metal bands. Like, this is a band that's part of the metal culture. They're just far more than that, which is what we need. It's exactly what we need, and it's exactly why they're so successful. It's because they mix R&B, pop, even like a little bit of jazz and stuff, and hard rock. Like, they're just such a cool band that it's pulling in so many other people into the style of music, because we need those gateway bands. I've talked about it before, but gateway bands are huge to like get people introduced to metal, because if you just show metal right at the beginning, it's so abrasive, right? So the point of this is just, it's really cool that Sleep Token is pulling in a lot of non-metal listeners, selling Wembley Arena in 10 minutes. It's so cool. It makes me happy. Another thing that was huge was Download Festival. Clearly, Download Festival was another thing that happened recently, and it was just massive. It was like a spectacle. Watching some of these live videos and seeing Instagram stories of people who participated in it looked amazing.
First up, Bring Me the Horizon brought fire, dancers, and a full futuristic storyline to their incredible headline performance on the Friday night.
Sorry, eating Reese's Pieces. So good. Metallica's set looked wild. I actually have a video pulled up over here. And that's another thing. Metallica came out with an album this year. Off topic, but I think James Hetfield is one of the most handsome men in metal. That dude has aged like fine wine. I hope I look like that when I'm like in my 60s. Just saying. Also, it helps the fact that he's in like the biggest metal band. It makes him badass too. I don't know. I just feel like metal's been huge, right? He's daddy. He for sure is daddy. Even like, okay, we can even talk about Anthony Fantano a little bit, because when he does cover metal, he always hates it, but at least he does help give it some exposure. So the Sleep Token one, the infamous Sleep Token review, you know, he actually makes some solid points. He literally sums up the reasons why people can't get into Sleep Token, and it's fair. It's fair. However, all the reasons why he doesn't like Sleep Token are the exact reasons why I like Sleep Token. He thinks the overproduced production makes it sound AI. Like, I understand the idea of raw sounding production, and don't get me wrong, I like it. I like it when it just sounds like, you know, not compressed. It just sounds lively, and you hear the crashes, you hear the mistakes a little bit or something. I get that appeal, but also there's a certain appeal about something just sounding so polished and sounding so good. And I feel like this record, to me, it's the best sounding Sleep Token record. I like it more than George Lever's mixes, personally. In my opinion, he steps out of review territory and is just straight up hating. Oh, absolutely. And I think I watched Tank the Tech too. He did a review on Sleep Token as well. And he was basically saying he doesn't really understand the appeal to it, but like people were kind of saying like there's context to the album that he's missing. He's like, oh, okay, that's fair. Like, I didn't even realize this was a trilogy. And I think Fantano just like misses so much of the lyrical components, which is fine. To him, it's just, he's viewing it as mellow, like surface level, hence the Imagine Dragons comparison. Man, when he said Imagine Dragons right away, that's just like, oh, gloves off. Gloves off. The Imagine Dragons comment is just Twitter recycled trash. I know. And then I made 5 similar artists that sound like Sleep Token, and I used some artists like called Eden. Oh, 2 Feet. Like, I got 2 Feet vibes. It's like sexy with those big drops, contrast between soft and like these bigger moments.
Girl, don't tell me your problem.
The point of this is that Fantano actually reviewed Sleep Token, and it's a band that he would have never checked out before, right? So I think it's just cool. Even though he shat on the record, Nick Nocturnal did like the best rebuttal video though, and it has more views than Anthony Fantano. So I thought that was so sick to see, but it still is cool he's talking about it. So let's move on to Google Trends. Let's find out if metal is actually more relevant now than it's ever been. So let me just type in metal music 2004 to present. Oh no, metal is tanking, guys. Metal music is tanking. It was doing so well in 2004, Maybe let's type in pop music. Maybe because it started in 2004, so it has more data. Pop music. Okay, so pop music isn't as relevant. Okay, we're gonna do past 5 years because it seems like it's a little bit skewed. So let's try that again. Metal music for the past 5 years. Oh, so it's kind of averaging out the same. How about just type in metalcore? It's averaging about the same. Again, if we do like 2004 to present. Oh man, this seems accurate. Because this was peak metalcore when it was like super commercially successful. Wow. Okay. How about this? Let's compare it to deathcore. Oh. So metalcore is clearly more searched than deathcore, which I kind of expected. But in the 2010s or 2009, deathcore it was competing hard back then. Okay, but it's cool. So yeah, definitely metalcore is more searched than deathcore. Let's compare it to hip hop, metalcore versus hip hop, which hip hop should destroy. Oh my God, you can't even see metalcore, man. Let's see, hip hop 52, metalcore, if I can even hover over it, 1. Oh no. No, this hurts. Let's pick another subgenre. Oh, dubstep. Dude, dubstep is going to be a great one because dubstep was super trendy around like the 2010s and it's kind of died off. So let's see the comparisons here. Oh, wow. Dubstep is crushing metalcore. Okay. Yeah, exactly. 2010s was massive for dubstep music. Maybe if I type in heavy metal. Oh, this is interesting. So like I was saying, dubstep was very commercially successful in like the 2010s. So hence this big jump because of Skrillex and a whole bunch of other artists. But it's died down. It's died down and heavy metal has surpassed it since like 2017. Pop music to heavy metal. Oh, that's not that far off. Wait. No. I'm getting confused. Heavy metal is the blue. Heavy metal is searched more than pop music. Maybe because I didn't type in music. Maybe I have to be a little bit more specific here. Oof. Maybe they were like thinking like heavy metal material, right? Maybe heavy metal is a little too broad. Metal music, pop music. Okay, this seems like the actual accurate representation here. You have to be like specific with the search inquiries. So if we're looking at pop music, 34 average, metal music 16. That's not that bad. Anyway, is metal actually more relevant than ever? It doesn't seem like it. Shit. So I'll be damned. I guess metal is just kind of staying the same. But I feel like there's exciting things, okay? I still feel like metal has been having like some crazy wins. I think that's probably the best way to sum it up. You know, Sleep Token's massive win to the scene. Lawrence Shore was a massive win too. You know, Metallica writing a new album, and Avenged Sevenfold, you know, coming back with a new album too. Like a lot of big names are dropping music this year, and Drake and Demi Lovato, right? And the Download festivals, all these festivals. I feel like there's a lot of stuff happening to make metal really exciting this year. Although the data from Google is not showing that. Maybe we need to do Bing. Maybe that's the issue. Let's do Bing trends, okay? Because Google doesn't have the answer for everything. What's another one? Maybe Ask Jeeves. A lot of bands coming back too. That's another thing, man. A lot of bands are coming back too. So I'll just leave it that I think metal has been having a lot of wins. It may not be as relevant as it was back in the day or as relevant as pop music, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I'll take any baby step, okay? Yahoo answers for sure. For sure. All right.